Hey, 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 what is going on? You are listening and watching Tags Live, aka Talk About Gay Sex, the live edition, where we are here every Wednesday night on the Crowdcast platform. I am your host, Steve V. This is episode 513, alongside my Tags partner in crime, Kodi Maurice Doggette. How the hell you doing?
Tags team, baby. Hello, darling. I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good, actually, because we have got an exciting show ahead a little bit later, y'all. We are bringing up our special guest, Matt Heft, to the show, who's going to be talking about his ergonomic and aesthetically pleasing adult toys, Silc art. And oh my gosh, I'm so excited to talk to him about that. We have so many questions to get to, but we've got a lot to talk about because Kodi, a week from tonight, we are going to be live streaming in Puerto Vallarta. And I'm talking about the Vacaya Mexico Resort in Puerto Vallarta. So excited about it. Are you packed and ready? What is going on?
I am editing right now because, of course, I had so much in this little suitcase. I only want to take a carry-on because I'm not packing a bunch of like bulky clothes. I'm only Speedos and titty things and things like that because I want to be as naked as possible. We're going to be in Mexico. The weather's going to be fabulous. I'm so excited. We're going to have a great time. What about you? Are you done packing yet?
I'm not done packing because I've got equipment to bring. We've got cameras.
You get the heavy stuff
galore. It's like no joke, but that's okay. I'm going to figure it out. Plus, I'm away for a month, and I'm also going to be celebrating Thanksgiving in a way. So there's a lot going on. But I decided to bring up one of the bathing suits that I'm going to be wearing, and it's got a peekaboo in the back. What do you think of this?
Badge come through.
I mean, and this is kind of a special one because it's rough skin, but it's the Tom of Finland collection working with rough skin. So you've got rough skin and Tom of Finland. I'm just showing the label because I'm a label whore. Yeah. And I just thought I'd show you that. But yeah, so that's going to be part of my repertoire. And super excited. Jin Synth, watching us right now, is actually joining. He won our Vacaya 2023 Mexico Resort in Puerto Vallarta. He is joining us actually live right now. So he's going to be helping us out with some stuff too. So I cannot wait. And Bryce, watching us live because we're in front of a virtual audience, says, and you have to pack me in your suitcase. I know. I wish we could pack as many people as we possibly could, but we will be live with this show in the resort of the Vacaya, and we're really excited about it because we're going to be in front of a live studio audience as well as you guys, and it's going to be a little bit different type of show because while we do this and we're a little bit more talking heads when we do weekly shows of Tags Live, we are going to be in front of a live studio audience, and so we want to make it a little bit more interactive, and we've got some really fun things planned. Are you ready for that live audience?
That part I'm a little nervous about. I have to say, I'm used to doing live shows. However, I'm not used to doing this show live in front of a studio audience like the Tonight Show or Johnny Carson or something like that. So it's going to be a new experience for me. I'm excited. We're going to have a wonderful time. We're just going to live on the stage. And that's all we need to do. Get our best lives, right?
So keep active with us on social media. Follow Kodi at Mr. Maurice on Instagram and follow me. I am _Steve V, because we're going to be documenting from the plane ride at the airport when we get there and the behind the scenes of getting set up for one of our first in a long time live in front of a studio audience broadcast of Tags Live. So keep active with us because it's going to be a lot of fun, and we really want you to be a part of it to see the whole process as we join the whole live hemisphere. Well, Also, in announcements that we're so excited about is our brand new podcast dropped last week, and we're talking about Of a Certain Age, or OACA, OACA, and we are at episode number 2 that dropped this morning. And our guest this week is Ivan Quintanilla. Ivan is a travel writer, blogger. He, in this episode, gives so much insight into the hot spots that you need to look at right now. He's talking about destinations where you could save a buck or two. He's talking about destination weddings, our safety as an LGBTQ community, and so much more. I learned so much more. And we asked the quintessential question of a certain age: where are people considering retiring, and where can you get your most bang for your buck? I'm not going to give those away because we want you to listen to it. Of a Certain Age, OACA, OACA, is now available. Episode 2 and 1 are available wherever you get your podcasts. Please, please support the show. We are so excited about this endeavor. And any words to say about episode 2, Kodi, and Of a Certain Age, OACA?
It was so exceptional speaking to Ivan because he's hot, number one.
Kodi had a little crush there.
I do have a little crush. But also because he gave us so many wonderful tips about how we can be safe while we're traveling, about the next places to go as far as destinations that are up and coming. Just so many wonderful tips and tricks. And it was just amazing conversation. So I loved hanging with Ivan.
Of a Certain Age, OACA, OACA, wherever you get your podcast, download it now. We are up to episode 2. Okay, well, it's time for some thank yous. And the first thank you goes out to last week's special guest on Tags Live, Dr. Chris Bustamante. And he was talking all about these procedures, about sexual enhancement that you can consider to do, that you just have to visit episode 511 of Tags Live to find out what we were talking about if you missed it. But in the meantime, Kodi and I went into the office of Dr. Chris Bustamante yesterday and had a couple procedures done prior to our trip to Mexico. I'm just going to tell about mine first. I had the hydrofacial, and if you notice my skin's a little bit more hydrated today, it is, but
you're glowing.
I cannot emphasize the hydrofacial. Mainly what it did, it was the most intense facial by Marcos, who was amazing in and of himself, but he took such good care of me here in New York. And one of the things that he did was really just cleanse away and do some really good extractions and exfoliations. And he showed me, Kodi, some of the extractions and grime that really exists in all of our faces. And he got away so many blackheads and just unwanted dead skin cells. And I really think that's the reason why our skin, and did a whole rejuvenation process that I think is going to keep my skin glowing. I want to go back. I can only probably afford every 6 months, but
I know, right?
Yeah. But Kodi, what did you have done, and what are we looking at right now?
I had a little Botox just around the eyes, darling.
A little, darling.
I probably had.
He had to order some more supply after you.
He stuck me so much with so much Botox.
We're not going to recognize our co-host after a couple of weeks. I was like, child, how much did he give you?
It was amazing, though. He has such a wonderful bedside manner, and he was so kind and giving. And it was just, I feel already rejuvenated after the procedure, and I can't wait to see the results. So I'm going to continue to post about the results and how my face is looking and feeling, and all of the wrinkles are good. I'm going to look 10 times younger in 2 weeks, okay? Because it takes 2 weeks to
We're going to have a camera on you every single day on this trip, and it's about 2 weeks when you have the final results of what you actually will look like under Botox,
Yes.
and I cannot wait to see. So
I
this is
know,
going to be
me
really
too.
good. Okay. The other thank yous we want to, of course, shout out to is, we have a Patreon page where you can support Tags Podcast, of course, Tags Live as well. And I wanted to shout out to a couple of recent new subscribers at the sub levels. That's right, we have
Mm.
sub, diva. At the sub level, new Patreon member Arnar joined us, and we really want to thank you, Arnar. We see you, we recognize you, and we really thank you for the support. Also joining us at the diva level, okay, Brendan. Brendan joined us at the diva level on our Patreon page, and the support really keeps us moving and going forward with 3 shows a week, y'all. And you too can become a member and get some extra special sexy perks by joining and grabbing a tier. We are also going to be revamping it soon in the new year, and you're going to get even more extra special sexy perks. So if you want to support us and show some love for what we do, you can go to patreon.com/tags podcast, and we really see you and appreciate you. Thank you so much for that.
Yes.
Okay, we've got to get into some hot topics, and the first one, everybody was talking about this on every show you could imagine, and it had to do with the recent conversation that went viral where 13 places a group of women absolutely refused to go on a first date. And we decided to put it towards the gay test here on Tags Live and put some of these to the test. So 13 places you should absolutely not take your date to on a first date include number 13, IHOP. Number 12, a buffet. A Red Lobster was on the list.
I like Red Lobster.
Do you know Wingstop?
I have heard of Wingstop. I've never actually eaten at Wingstop, though.
Sounds like wings, and you know how I do with that.
I love wings.
Well, Buffalo Wild Wings was also on the list, and I'm not there either. Any fast food chain, I would also put that on my list.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of things like the Olive Garden, Chipotle.
Which I love.
Ugh.
I love, but I would never take a date there.
I can't stand Chipotle, but Chili's, ugh. Applebee's, Chili's, I would actually go on this date if somebody took me to Chili's.
Okay.
Truth be told, Kodi, when I go home to Fremont, California, where my mom still lives, her and I have like a mother-son date, and we often go to Chili's. I love a good Chili's. The margaritas are great. We get yeah, I love it. No Olive Garden, no.
What?
Red Lobster, forget it.
It's Italian. It's you feel like home when you're there.
It is not Italian. I got to take my attitude, but the number one place to not take a date, according to these 13 women, was, drumroll please, Cheesecake Factory. And I was so offended by that one because I actually, in LA, went on a date to the Cheesecake Factory.
How old were you?
Yes, and this was like a few years ago, and it was somebody that I had worked on a music video with back in the day, a Madonna music video, and we reunited several years later. He's a dance instructor, and we actually had really great sex again, and we just decided to meet at the Grove in LA at the Cheesecake Factory, and it was delicious, and we both got cheesecake. The raspberry white chocolate cheesecake is sublime, and they make really good cocktails. It is another place that I also go with my mom at times too. But what did you think of this list, and what are some no first dates that you wouldn't go on? Or would you just go on all of them?
For a first date, I think it's something you have to do your best to make a good first impression. So I would go to none of these places on a first date because you have to do your best to kind of show who you are and what you're about, as far as you have to kind of wine and dine them a little bit to get the draws, number one. So I wouldn't go to none of these places. The Cheesecake Factory, I would take somebody. I probably took Joe there when we were 2 years in, Because it's something that you do when you're away and in a rural place, like out in the suburbs or something like that. So I do think that some of these places I would go out on a date with, but I don't think it's something that I should do on a first date. On a first date, you should be sitting down and being waited on, and there should be an air of luxury when you go on a first date. That's how I feel.
I like how you feel on that. And I also think that depending on where you're at, you might not have that many options. So these might be some of your options. I listed some of the ones that I like. Chipotle, no, absolutely not. But like where we live, can you hear me, Kodi?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you
Yeah,
hear me? Yeah.
yeah.
Like where we live, we are surrounded by so many great restaurants. And we recently, with a group of us, went to an Italian food fest, the
San Gennaro.
San Gennaro Food
Mhm.
Fest. You could actually do that and have not spend a lot of money. It's not even about spending a lot of money. There's also this thing in New York called Smorgasburg, like smorgasbord, but
Oh.
Smorgasburg, like the various areas in New York,
Mhm.
and mostly in spring, summer, fall. But that would be a great place because typically they're in a park. And so to me, it's not about spending a lot of money. I'm not throwing my nose up to those types of things. It's just get a little creative. Go on a picnic over going to Chipotle or BBQ.
I was
I mean,
literally about to say BBQs. Or am I taking you to BBQs for our first
no, never,
date?
never. No, date over. I would dump you in a second. But last question before we move on. Do you think a movie is a good place to take a first date to? Yes or no?
No, absolutely not. And honestly, I was just thinking about it, and I probably would not even go to a restaurant on a first date
What?
because,
Oh, too
yeah,
much.
it's too much commitment as far as a first date is
Oh, a
concerned.
drink.
Yeah, a drink is nice, and but before
You're
a
so
movie,
right on that, Cody, because I once had a friend of a friend, and he was going on date after date. He had just broken up on this long-term relationship, and he was
mhm,
going after dinner date. And I'm like, child, what are you doing?
and spending
Why do you
money
want to wait?
crazy.
Like, yeah, why do you want to go to dinner at some of my favorite places is only fun with some of my favorite people. That's an
Exactly.
equation. It
Yep.
is not fun in 2 minutes into, do you want to drink? Oh, I don't drink. And then I'm like, oh, this is going to be a long dinner. Well, should we get the sea bass? And then they say they want the fried sea bass. And I'm like, oh,
Do they have a
child.
burger? Do they have ribs? No,
Yeah,
I
see,
know,
forget
baby,
it. Do
no.
not waste your time. We got a couple comments. Read them for me, please, before we get it. I think yeah, read those.
So Bryce says a guy took him on a date once to a restaurant to treat Bryce to a cup of water, which is ridiculous to me. I would have threw the water in their face and got up and left. Khalidad says Chili's is surprisingly tasty.
Thank you so
Which,
much.
well, you know what? You guys can go on your first date to Chili's. That's
Well,
perfectly fine with
maybe
me.
we will.
Khalid also says this list makes him glad that he gave up women. Okay, all right.
But you see how we have a little bit of similarities as well, right? Which is kind
Yeah,
of interesting.
I hear that. I
So,
mean,
yeah.
is this a love connection that I see going on here? I love it. Justin also
Justin says, oh, yeah, go ahead.
the first date should be about getting to know each other, something low key and low commitment, like a walk in the park, a drink, something of that nature. And he also goes on to say dating can be expensive. Do an activity, save the second date for something formal like dinner, which is what I agree with. That's what I did yes.
Can I just
Right.
say that one of my recent first dates was with somebody that I'm still talking to, and it was ultimately a hike, a really amazing hike. And he picked me up and he drove me out to this rural part of New Jersey, and it was amazing. The hike was strenuous, and we worked up a sweat, and we laughed, and we just had a really great time. We took pictures together. But on the way to the hike, Cody, he
Mm-hmm.
wanted to get a quick bite, and we did stop at a place that I would never in my right mind stop at,
Was it
Dunkin'
a diner?
Donuts. Dunkin'
Oh, is
Donuts. But here's the
it?
thing. He just wanted a snack and he said, "Do you want a coffee?" I've never wanted Dunkin' Donuts coffee ever, but I said, "You know what? Let me just have it." And it was fine. And he made me have a bite of his wrap because he was hungry.
Was it
I
fine?
my point is, and I have a point. I think when you really like somebody or interested in somebody, you will bend the rules a little bit. Remember the
Mhm.
rules? We were just talking about it with Lincoln. I bent them a little bit, and I had a great coffee. I took a bite of my friend's wrap from Dunkin' Donuts, a place I've never gone to, and we had a great time. And we're still interested in going on future dates. So
See?
it also depends on who the person really is. Now, BBQ
Mhm.
never, Chipotle never. And
You
so
know what?
I put my foot down sometimes.
What I heard about Dunkin' Donuts is that you will break the rules for the right person. That's what I got from that story. So, and I
Right,
agree
but
with you.
not BBQ and all
Girl,
that.
I will see you at BBQs, okay?
Never. Let's bring on our special guest because we need to. If you can bring him.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Hello, hello, Matt Heft. How the hell are you?
He has to unmute his mic.
Oh,
Oh, there he
yes.
goes. He got it. All right, he's on
How
it.
we doing?
Yes. Hi,
Good,
I
good.
just
Matt.
I just want to say that I can also fit in a suitcase. So if that position is available, yeah.
I
Where else
love
can you fit?
it.
Hey.
Welcome, welcome, Matt Heft to the show of Silc Arts, the art of pleasure. You can go to silcarts.com. He's going to be talking about better grip, better control, better angles, better pleasure for adult toys. We're going to get
Ooh.
all into that. But before we get into that, did you hear our previous conversation? And first of all, single and anything about the dating process? Would you go to any of these places or do any of these things?
So I love the thought of a hike, right? It gets you moving. There's plenty of time to fill with conversation, right? You bring a baguette, you bring some nice cheese. It doesn't need to be
Oh.
special, doesn't need to be expensive. That's my take. I'm kind of a simple guy though. And otherwise, restaurants around here, I'm trying to find.
Well, where are you, Matt?
I'm in New London, Connecticut. So,
Oh, okay. Okay.
we've got Olive Garden and Chili's, which is fine. But I want a little hole in the wall taqueria. I want to have
Oh,
trouble ordering my food. Like that's
okay.
legit. So that's my
All
take.
right, Matt, you're already speaking my language. I love it, but we need to
Yeah.
get into some of what you do. You started Silc Arts, and I was really struck because you also are a tattoo artist. And are you still I'm assuming you can
I
still do
was.
tattoo.
I
Yeah.
tattooed for 15 years, and I loved it. I had a great time, but I was ready for something new. And somehow, I had a great client one day. He texted me and asked if I would paint some old school Sailor Jerry tattoos on a butt plug for him, just to keep on his desk. And I usually don't take commission work, but that's hilarious. So I said yes. And I was already looking for my next direction, and that got my head turning. And so 6-8 years later, here we are. I'm not painting toys because that business model is crazy. I'm sculpting toys. So
Well,
so the focus is sculptural sex toys rather than anatomical. So
I
Oh.
love that. Cody, go
yeah.
ahead, and I'll jump
Oh,
in. So
yes.
we're just going to
So
round robin our questions. So
no,
go
I
ahead.
totally love that. And I saw that all of your toys are handcrafted. Is each piece unique? Because I want to say to my friends that I have a completely unique piece in my boudoir.
Yeah.
Because if you have a unique
Yeah.
piece, then you need to call it a boudoir, darling. Okay.
Yeah. 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 In that regard, I'm definitely a boutique company.
Mhm.
Small, handcrafted. Every toy has to come out of the same mold. So the form itself is going to be the same, but everyone is inherently unique. The way that you're pouring liquid silicone into a mold. Every blend is going to be different. The marbling is always going to be different. So yeah, they're all custom, one of a kind.
Fabulous, fabulous.
Love
For my
it.
boudoir, I love it.
For Kodi's boudoir, yeah. Well, one of the things I was struck with when I first found out about you, Silc Arts, was that your adult toys are so aesthetically pleasing. They're so colorful, vibrant colors. They really seem like works of art. And where in the past I've have plenty of adult toys, but I throw them into a drawer, behind the bed, in a closet. These actually are toys that you would actually want to display.
Yeah.
Talk about the art process and how you and your process that you really want these to be shown and almost be proud of as works of art as well as functional.
Yeah. So one of the points that I've always been trying to hit is I want to make a sex toy that looks great and feels great. I want a sex toy that that I can display on my mantle or I can have on my bedside. That's the level I'm shooting for here. And so, I come up with a concept, I need a dildo or a plug or, whatever next product I'm working on. This is the vague shape that I'm working on. And then I'm kind of just getting creative and trying to figure out what natural forms can fit into that shape. And I start playing around and sketching and doing thumbnails, and you never know how it goes. You hit that creative brain space and just kind of play around. So yeah.
Lovely. I love that. Can you tell us a little bit about the ergonomic handle and the back lock? What is that all about? Because I'm super curious.
Yeah. Ergonomics, sex toys, only recently have sex toys become ergonomic, and it's still a rarity. I'm amazed at how few options there are for sex toys. Holding a toy like this is not comfortable, right?
Right.
And we all do it. Like, why hasn't anybody spent any time to make this a comfortable experience? You didn't realize you needed a new pair of shoes, an excellent pair of shoes until you put on an excellent pair of shoes. If you remember those keyboards from when you were 10, like they're better now. Somebody actually spent time on them, designing them. And I'm just glad that we're finally getting somewhere with sex toys finally, So the thought for the ergonomic, the Silc Touch ergonomic handle was initially to help the disabled community, with limited grip, limited ability. And then I mentioned this concept to my testers, able-bodied testers, and they were like, when can I test that? So I didn't realize how extensive this issue was, this lack in the industry was. So after tons of research and development and consulting, whatnot, I came up with the Silc Touch ergonomic handle. It's going to be tough to get this all in frame, but this is one, right?
You got it.
And just to break it down really quick, Matt, because for a lot of people that don't know, the handle is the back piece, and then separately you sell the actual toy in the front of it that has sort of a sectioned hole, right?
That's right.
That you can fit into it. Can you explain that process? Because I was just reading about it today.
Yeah. So this is the handle itself, right? And so this is called a vac lock fitting, and there's the opposite of this in the toy itself, right? And so they slide on. It's a very secure system. And then the handle, in use, obviously, like this is a far better range of motion and comfortable grip than this. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was wondering.
You're right. So that's really where it boils down to. You can get some other angles, some different positions with the handle. That's dependent on your body and how you move and how you flex and whatnot. But um,
I love
yeah,
that because especially like if you're getting into your toys and the mirror, looking at yourself with the mirror, and
yeah,
also as we get older too, our joints and our hand muscles. I
that's right.
mean, we're so on the computer so much. I mean, I saw you,
Yep.
Cody, yesterday. Like you were doing something with your joints because you were
Yeah,
like, I
I'll
feel
post
the
something
same
in a
things
second.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's just a product of a certain age
that's
Yep.
right, baby.
Yep.
that can happen. And so I really appreciate what you're doing. And what's been the response, I guess, of
Oh, it's been
say,
great.
yeah,
Yeah.
particularly with the community that may find themselves the different communities, I guess.
Yeah. So initially, I was pursuing the disabled community because that's what the product was designed for, right? Um, the two communities that instantly see this product and know what it's for are the fat community and the disabled community. And it's a I wouldn't say it's a tough sell. A lot of people don't realize that they need a product because they've never worn a great shoe. You know what I mean? And so, we're getting there. It's a new product. It's an innovation. So it just is what it is. Aside from that, the response is great. I mean, I've never had a complaint. People, the what keeps coming up in the reviews is this is a game changer. So I'm just glad. I don't know. I'm glad to make an innovation and share it with the world. It's pretty cool. So
Yeah. So, you mentioned your testers. Do you test things out yourself, or you have
oh sure,
testers?
I
Is there
have
an
both.
application? Because can you mail me one? I need something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll talk after the show. Uh, yeah, I have testers. Testers are invaluable to me. They steer me in the right direction when I'm going off path. They give me great ideas. And it's a small collection of people that communicate very well and promptly, and they are just invaluable to any business, right? But especially a boutique sex toy company like me. I mean, it's so important to have them around, so to work with them.
I love
So
it. Well, we are live, and Bryce, watching us live, says the products are so beautiful. I just want to make them art pieces in my house.
yeah,
Functional art, I would say for sure. And I also think these would make amazing Christmas gifts and so cool. We should really talk about the actual material you're using. What
yeah.
are these actually made of? You have a really great Instagram account that I was following today and really deep diving into where you're pouring, I believe, silicone,
That's
but
right.
colored silicone, and it just looks so delicious. Talk about
Yeah,
the process and what you're using.
yeah. It's a sexy process. If you see those videos of pouring toys, I mean, it's a sensual visual. It's cool.
Very,
So yeah, the silicone is this is platinum cure silicone, not tin cure silicone. It's body safe. Um, it's the highest quality silicone you can get. My products are all lab certified, body safe. Um, I mean, I I want to say that's industry standard. It's industry standard for any legitimate company.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of toxic toys out there, jelly dongs, anything jelly is terrifying. Throw it away. Uh, there's a lot of scary stuff out there coming out of. I'd like to just say China, but also coming out of here. People don't care. And there's a long legacy of questionable business practices in the sex industry. So,
And then following up on that, on firmness, you have a whole thing on various firmness that you offer with the silicone. Talk about the 3 levels that you offer.
Yeah, I've got soft, medium, and firm. That's double out 30, double out 50, and 10A, Shore A hardnesses, if you want to get into the weeds. And 30, soft and medium are pretty close to each other. In the boutique sex toy scene, those 3 options are pretty standard. 10 is firmer. It's if you have a thinner toy, if you're trying to hit a prostate on it with a dildo, then like it's a better option, depending on what you're using. There's a lot of factors that go into like what the right firmness is for your use and for the toy. A lot of it comes down to personal preference. But yeah.
Got it, Kodi.
Nice. So
we have only so much time. We want to get all these questions in.
I was really actually curious about, is this strap-on compatible? Is this something that you can use for people that use strap-ons?
Yeah, I've got most of my toys are strap-on compatible. I've got a few that aren't. Generally speaking, like I've got a product to, to meet your needs. But
okay.
In the future, I intend to expand on those for sure.
So. Okay.
I have a question, but before I do, we're live, and I want to read some of these commentary. Bryce says, Matt, can you also make any candle molds? I'd buy one in a heartbeat. Quick answer to that.
Yeah, I could. I haven't. I will add it to the list and think about it. Yeah.
Awesome. And Caladad, watching us live on this Wednesday night, also says, so are these gorgeous pieces meant to be used by a sole user as well as couples? Answer to that.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of ways to have sex. So, however you're having sex, these can fit in,
And then my question is, one of my favorite pieces that they just come in such vibrant colors was the butt plugs that really talk about that mold shape. It's an unusual shape that, I mean, the butt plugs that I've seen before are really just like a knob,
bulbous,
if you will, bulbous. And yours look a little bit more floral, if I will, in shape, but with those beautiful colors that obviously we talk a lot about on this show, that lubricant, and start off smaller and not.
Yeah.
Talk about those. And yeah.
So I actually have one of those here. This is
I love it.
This is actually a vaginal plug, and the way you can tell is because the base is a little shorter. This particular model, in the butt plug version, has a wider base, comes out a bit further, and it's in a firmer silicone. And that's just for safety. I'm working on other models that have less texture. I don't know if you can see it. There's a fair amount of texture on here.
Yeah.
These the petals of the rose. And to be fair, to be forthright, some folks love that in a firmer silicone to have some ridging. Some people don't. That is what it is. You can't. There is no perfect toy for everyone. So, but yeah, the mold.
I love the safety aspect that you've stated on that too, because I've said on this show before where things can get lost up there. I have been a result of that.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been a result of that. So I speak from experience. And so I really love that you've thought of that.
Yeah. I think it's important as a manufacturer, as a maker, even a small, boutique company like me, like we try to be good to our customers. I love my customers, I got to take care of them. So.
Fabulous. So your motto is better grip, better control, better angle, better pleasure. I'm all about better pleasure. So tell us how necessarily the grip and control and the angle all lead to better pleasure?
Uh, when you compare it to the classic, right? So again,
Mhm.
uh, this is how a lot of people use their toys, right?
Mhm.
Um, this grip sucks.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
it's not pleasant. It's fine if that's all you know and you're capable. But there's a better way. You know, I mean, this grip versus this grip. I mean, it's
Yeah.
right there. You know,
Yeah.
the range of motion. You know,
Are we going to see
this
a little
range of
demo?
this range of motion makes sense. You do that all day. You know, you're picking up bags. It's the same thing. You know,
Yeah.
it's just a better way to hold a toy. You know,
Okay.
um, I don't have much more to say about it than that. You know.
Fabulous. Okay.
I'm sold. We should
Uh,
also say that you can do custom molds for people too, because you are a smaller business, and I
that's
think
right.
that's what's kind of cool. I think what's really, and I want you to expand on that, but when we get a lot of these toys, when we go into these adult bookstores or whatever, they're really boring looking, and they're
Yeah.
probably manufactured in a factory that who knows where, maybe China. It's
Yeah.
really cool to know that you are here in the States creating these beautiful art pieces that you can even have custom made. Can you speak to the custom made aspect of it?
Yeah. I do offer custom design and services. Um, they're not cheap, and the waiting
Right.
list is long. But it
Mhm.
is available.
Get your
Uh,
Christmas order in early
yeah, for next year. Yeah.
for
Uh,
next
but
year.
uh, but I do custom colors. So if you go on my website, you can pick one of three classic, house colors. Um, we've got purple. Actually, there's four. I'm sorry, I'm missing one. Um, there's a pink version too. Those are house colors. If you just want to pick one of those, that's great. Um, but it's also an option to pick up to five colors and get a marbled toy. Any five colors of the 30 that's available. Um,
I
and
love it.
that's an option. And that's yours. It'll never be made, never be made again. So
Nice,
Yes.
nice. We have some people asking about like a promo. Maybe we'll talk to you offline and see what we can offer our
yeah,
listeners.
yeah.
If they're listening to the show and they want something special, but we'll talk to him, Kodi.
Yeah, no, that's it for me. Do you have anything else,
Yeah,
Steve?
I don't, other than, cleaning. If you could just speak to this, I was reading a little bit on your website, and while you are producing these amazing art pieces, functional art, sexual pieces for us, can you just tap into the importance of cleaning your toys
Yeah.
and what do you recommend?
Yeah. Uh, for general use, warm water, warm soapy water is all you really need. If you're using silicone, you have some additional
You mean
options.
silicone lube? Silicone lube,
No,
yes.
I'm sorry, but I'm glad you mentioned that. Talking about safety, silicone lube and silicone toys don't mix.
Oh,
So you want to,
wow.
yeah, so you want to be using a water-based. There's some hybrid-based. That's as a general rule. I can't tell you. There are some exceptions to that rule based on individual products chemistry, and it's way too big of a topic to get into. So
We're gonna have your back, but yeah.
yeah. So the
So
general rule is silicone toys don't mix with silicone lube.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I think there's
so
some
use
oil based.
water-based lube.
Yeah, you want to use water based. Yeah, you shouldn't be using an oil based anyway. So, uh,
That's
oh,
really good to know. I
sorry.
didn't know that, so I love that.
Yeah, yeah. As far as sanitation goes, I mean, if you don't have any additional needs, then soapy water is fine. Um, If you're using toys with multiple partners, of course, you can use protection on your toys as an added layer of protection. If you have any smells with silicone toys, with high quality silicone toys, that you trust the manufacturer and you know that they're 100% silicone through and through, you can boil them. You can boil with just water and a light detergent. You want to be careful with temperature. You want to start them cool in the pot, let them cool down in the pot. If you have any additional odor, I've heard some folks talk about baking them at a low temperature to kill off that odor. There's a bunch of options. Silicone is a wonderful material, so it can handle a lot of situations. So
Matt Heft, love Silc Arts. So cool. People can go to Silc's SILCARTS.com. You can also follow Silc Arts on Instagram at Silc Arts, SILCARTS. On Threads, I was tagging you today at Silc Arts, SILCARTS. We'll list it on the websites. The products are gorgeous, Matt. You are onto something. I really love it. I cannot wait to order my own. And yeah, I just love it. So really, congratulations on this. I think you're really elevating. You're elevating the adult toy experience and not making it so stigma driven that it has been in the past. And I just love what you're doing. So it's really gorgeous. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here with y'all. So
thank you so much.
All right, we'll list everything. We'll be in contact, Matt. So maybe we can work together soon.
Great.
Thank you so much.
All right, now.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh my goodness. Love.
Yes.
These toys, Kodi, are gorgeous.
Absolutely stunning.
And I don't say that about an adult toy ever. I'm thinking Christmas gifts. I'm thinking birthday gifts. I'm thinking it's going to change the way we. Okay, yeah, you're getting one. You are getting one. There's so many of them. So, yeah, love.
It was great, and for my boudoir, because the boudoir needs a nice new toy in it. All right.
Bryce says, yes, floral, my rosebud. Absolutely. We will continue to update you on that on all of Silc Arts. And yeah, I'm getting mine soon for sure. Let's get back into hot topics. And we had a lot of them that we didn't even get to.
We sure
besides
did.
That, we got to talk about those ex-husbands, though, I think, Kodi.
I think so, too.
Okay. Well, there is Spanish ex-husbands have gone viral with photos. Why? Because they're celebrating their divorce. So this high-profile gay couple in Spain has gone viral with photos to celebrate their divorce. And I'm talking about Pelayo Diaz-Zapico. He was a model, or is a model, actor, and influencer with 1 million Instagram followers. He's well known around the globe for Fashion Week and so forth. His husband, or former husband, as I should say, Andy McDougall, is a fellow influencer who runs his own PR firm. Well, the two men got married back in 2018. However, posting yesterday from both men, they announced that they're getting divorced. They're divorced, actually.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like things are all okay, because not only did they post and it went viral, but they had a cake that said just divorced, and they wanted everyone to know that they're celebrating with friends this morning. They have officially signed the divorce. 2 years ago, they said, when we talked and came to the conclusion that love was over, I remember we went to bed in tears. Quote, we were very sad to become strangers and forget so many adventures, trips, and crazy things together. So we looked into each other's eyes and we both made a promise. Take care of each other and respect each other. And let Polandi, that was their name, Polandi, like J-Lo and Bennifer. Theirs was Palandi, not and
Okay.
there. Palandi is an amalgamation of their names, like Brangelina or, like I said, Bennifer. And
Yes.
so today, 2 years later, they have shown another side of their rupture. I don't know. This was a really interesting topic for me because we were talking about a former porn star, or excuse me, a porn star that had testicular cancer that is in remission right now, that was going through a CAT scan, that I was thinking, this is great. We're just following his journey. And I thought he was doing good. So for me, I thought this wasn't oversharing. You were on the other fence of it in episode 512, Kodi. But on this one, I think this is too, like, good for you. So you're divorced and it didn't work out. We don't need to hear all about this and to have a celebration. To me, there's too many freaking celebrations on when people get together. Then when they decide to have, they are engaged. The engagement, like, back in the day, we didn't have an engagement party. Now there's an engagement party. Then there's like another party practically. Then there's the bachelor party and the other bachelor party. Then there's the wedding. It's too much, Kodi. It's like, so now we need a freaking divorce party. And if you want to do that with your friends, like, I don't know. I mean, yes, life is too short, but no.
I hear you. As someone just out of a relationship, I can't. And in my notes, it says, say that in Steve's voice, just so you know.
Because I wouldn't go. If you invited me to it, I would. If
You wouldn't
there was an
come?
RSVP, no, I would not. No,
What?
absolutely not.
Wow.
I would take you out.
Shows you who
I
your
would take
friends
you
are.
out to, well, I would take you out to support you, and I have been a good supporter, but I am not going to that engagement. No, sirree. Don't
I
invite
mean, there wouldn't
me.
be one. Yeah,
Well,
because
okay, let's just get it.
there wouldn't be one. So
creating a
don't worry
plan.
about it. And because I feel like at the end of love, that is not something that should be celebrated. I don't know if I'm just out of a breakup not too long ago myself, and I'm still kind of reeling from it. I'm not going to celebrate it and have a party with, especially not with my partner. Maybe if he was rich and I got a house and a boat and all this money, I would definitely have a party with you and with my a lot of other friends out there. But I would not be having it with my ex-partner because it's not a party occasion, I don't feel like. And maybe I love that they're doing this in a mature fashion, but I do not think that this is something that I am capable of because no. I'm glad they're both single because both of them are cute. They can come my way. How about that?
I love it. Moving on. But before we move on, we have somebody that maybe hasn't been listening to us in a second. And Calidad says, wait, Kodi is single? Where have you been,
July, baby?
Well, on that note, yes, Kodi is currently single, but it's come to my attention, Kodi, that I want to ask you the question because the question came originally from you, but in general, do we give someone another chance? In other words, if you go on a date with somebody and it's okay, or you had a okay time, but maybe you weren't necessarily so enamored with that person, do you go on another date? And I'm talking about you because I feel like I had this conversation with you.
You did.
And the other thing is, if you're presented with somebody to date, and let's say a friend of a friend says, hey, I've got somebody and here's their picture and I think you guys would be perfect for each other. And you look at the picture that your friend Kodi sent you.
Yes.
Not some third party, but your friend, and you're not really enamored with it. Do you go on the date? Because let me stop you before you answer that question.
Yeah, go.
You seem to tell me that you would, but I had a friend recently tell me, you don't owe anybody anything. And no, if you're not enamored or there, don't do it. You're wasting not only their time, but yours.
I hear you. In the current situation and state that I am in right now,
You're
I'm
in New
going on those.
York.
I meant mental state, not actual physical state.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. I
I
wanted to
am,
bring you back down to earth, but you're here.
but no, she's up in the clouds, honey. Okay. I'm going on these dates because I need to put myself back out there to explore what it is that I like, because I don't know anymore what I want to do on a date, because I've been in a relationship for X amount of time. So I think that for me personally, it's perfectly fine for me to go out on these dates and explore, because I don't know. I don't know. I can't, darling. I can't. So I'm going on these dates because I need to find out what these boys are all about in 2023 as opposed to 2020.
And for me, and I hear you, and I love that answer, Kodi. It's really honest. And if I was to relate to what you're saying, I will just talk about, we had a recent guest on the show, Lamont White, and I went on his show, post our show, called Shoot Your Shot, which is a live Instagram live show. And I was the subject of the show. Like, in other words, Lamont was asking me questions.
Yeah,
People were writing in. A lot of people wrote into that show that saw me that night, or a handful of people did.
No, a lot.
There were certain, you know what, and it was exciting. It was really exciting to be on that end of it. And on the other hand of it, I was telling a friend, I was out last week, and I was saying, a lot of people wrote in. I kind of felt this need to respond to everybody, even though I wasn't necessarily interested initially by maybe what they wrote or what I was seeing in the pictures. And I think my friend said, "You're too nice. You're feeling guilty." And he's kind of right. And while I felt like maybe I should have, I don't know that we should always feel succumb to respond to everybody that comes our way, because in the end, you really have to connect with those that you are interacting with, and there has to be some chemistry going on. And if there isn't, I do think you shouldn't waste each other's time in the end.
And I hear you, but I don't think it's a waste of time for me. I definitely reflect and tell these gentlemen that I'm going out on these dates with that I am recently out of a relationship, so that they are aware. I keep them up to date on my emotional state, so that they can know how I feel and what's going on with me, as far as I try and be as responsible and respectful as possible in these relationships. So I hope that I'm not hurting anybody. I hope that when I go on these dates, that they understand that it's just me exploring what dating is like now, honestly.
I love it. And watching us live, Matt, who was our guest, says you got to take care of you.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah. We forgot to ask Matt if he's used any of his toys. That was supposed to be our question to Matt.
I asked him.
You actually... Has he used them on him?
But he kind of like dodged all around it. But
he just said, yup.
Oh, he
just said, yup.
Oh, wow.
Bryce also
Nice.
watching us live. Yep. So we got our answer there. That's a quick, simple yep. Bryce says, I say a simple thank you if there is not a mutual attraction when guys message me. And yeah, I say a simple thank you too. Sometimes guys can be pretty persistent, particularly after if you've been on Shoot Your Shot, but just saying on that. But moving on to our final segment, let's keep this conversation going, because I feel like it is loaded, and we want to do our favorite segment that we didn't get to last week, and it's called Thirst Trap. It's produced by Straight Up Gay Porn. This week they are asking the questions, and I put it in the comments section. I'll put it on Tags Live episode 513. Out of these 12, the best shot or photo of the week. There's some really good ones in this one. Our job in an auditory podcast is to vividly describe who got our winner. And do you have one, Kodi?
I do. I want to say I hit up Tiago Fox on Grindr or Scrub or something like that.
There's too many good ones on this one.
Right? So, because he's hot as hell, and this is me shooting my shot. So I hope he hears this. Tiago, I think you're beautiful. And respond to my DM or wherever. I don't know where it is that I actually hit him up, but he is beautiful. It's a very simple selfie. He's basically standing in a room with a Scully on, and he's got a thick beard and a tone type body and gorgeous tattoos and on a erect cock, and he's got the biggest vein in his cock. It's so delicious. So Tiago Fox is my vote for this week.
I agree with you, and please put that. You need to click on his name right this second and vote. Will you do that? Will I go on?
Oh yes.
Do that. We want everyone to vote. So while Tiago, my goodness, it's right below him, Braxton Cruz is shooting an eye at me, and it's not his real eyes. My goodness, looking delicious.
Yeah,
also coming, Alex Inc. We just had our Matt Heft on the show with some really good tats on, and he's also giving us some beautiful tats and a delicious dick, and he might even get mine. Of course, as always, Raheem Shabazz looks delicious, but I think I'm going to land on Reese XXXL, who's leaning back on a bed, who looks like a total bodybuilder, who may be of the Asian persuasion. He's next to a Buddha. That's all I can assume, but he is deliciously built, and he's got these thick thighs and a dick of death, and I just want to climb on top of him because it's that delicious. He's bronzed out like the statue next to him, the Buddha, and he gets my vote for the week. And I'm going down and voting for Reese right this second. What are people saying?
The people are saying that.
Wait, can I stop you real quick?
Go ahead.
Tiago?
Yeah, I was Tiago.
He's number one. FYI.
Oh,
currently, just currently. So calm it down, everyone. Calm down.
Bryce is on my team, and so is Jin. They both say Tiago, so he's very popular. He's a bottom too. So call me baby.
Call me any day. Okay, got it. All right. This has been so much fun. We want to thank our special guest, Matt Heft of silcarts.com. We will post this on our tankspodcast.com reference episode 513. You can follow my co-host, Kodi Maurice Doggette. He's a life coach. Follow him at KMD Coaching on Instagram, or follow his personal account at Mr. Maurice. Follow me. I am _Steve V. Hey guys, we've got a brand new podcast. It's called Of a Certain Age. Yes. We are on episode number 2. You want to check it out. It's wherever you get your podcast, Of a Certain Age, or OACA, OACA. Get it on every streaming platform. Follow us on Instagram, Of a Certain Age Pod, POD. Of a Certain Age Pod, POD. We drop episodes every Wednesday. Next week, we are live in Mexico, in Puerto Vallarta, more importantly, with a brand new live podcast. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned and follow us on our socials because it's going to be really lit. And in the meantime, Kodi, continue having hot gay sex. Love you guys.